Good morning. It's June the 4th, 2026. It's Thursday. And for most people who will have seen in the news about this gentleman who's a Turkish American left-wing commentator that was refused entry to the UK because of his political views. His name is Cenk Uygur. He represents the Young Turks. Now, there's a lot of stuff that he says that I don't agree with. But I do agree that he should be heard. And I think everybody should be heard. And I've been on this journey, I've learned that you have to hear both sides of the story to get a clear picture of what's going on. And Starmer and his team decided they didn't want him in there. And he's left-wing as well. He's a commentator, but they felt he was too left-wing. And this is what we don't want. We don't want government deciding who can and can't come. Because if they've got something to say, maybe there's elements of what they're saying that's right. Most of what he says I don't agree with, but I listen to him. I listen to his point of view so that I understand what's going on. Because unless you hear their point of view, you only hear one side of the story. I've often said in my own life, many times, my wife and I know couples who split up. They get divorced. And we're friends with both sides. And we hear his side, and we hear her side. And when you've heard both sides, you wouldn't think these people had ever met before. They are so different. So wisdom is to listen to both sides. And then you can make your own opinion based on what different people say. And then with God's help, you'll come to the truth. Morning, Drew.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. First up, Southampton riots continue to dominate UK headlines after violent clashes left police officers injured and renewed national debate over policing, justice and public trust. It's wild out there, Charlie, at the moment.
It's wild, but it's very important that the world, the UK, the US wakes up to how corrupt the police have become. And they've become weaponized against the people, especially if they're white. And this is a movement that's been going on gently. The police are there to serve and protect. There's nothing about colour. There's nothing about race. There's nothing about religion in their oath of office. It's to serve and protect the people. And we've got corrupt people in power within the police force in America, in Europe, in the UK, in Australia, in Canada, that are pushing an agenda. Now, if you're a rapist or a murderer, I don't care what colour you are, what religion you are, but you need to be dealt with, and you need to be dealt with fairly. We're now learning that back between 1975 and 1980, there was a murderer called Peter Sutcliffe. Sadly, he died a few years ago, so, well, sadly, and rightly so, but it's now coming forward that the police covered up and actually enabled him to murder people. Enabled him. That's wrong. That's not serving the people. That's not protecting the people. And I will say this, it's thanks to the female police officers that that's come to light, that they have exposed it, but way too late. They've had to do that for their own safety. That should never happen. I can tell you on very good authority that the police force and the military have been infiltrated for many years to watch who's who, to get the evidence. These people will be held accountable. The sad thing is, in many cases, a lot of these people are dead. We can't do anything about what happened yesterday. What we can do is make it different for tomorrow. And I would urge you to stand up against evil. Because if we don't do it now, you never will. True.
Next up, the markets are nervous, oil prices are moving, investors are watching every headline coming out of the Middle East, and uncertainty is driving volatility across the global markets. The question is whether ceasefire efforts hold or whether the region moves closer to a wider conflict.
This is all part of the distraction of the collapse of the financial system. I've said this from day one, nothing has changed. The lengths that they go to distract you is unbelievable. I saw on the news yesterday that fuel prices are rising. So I did my checks. Crude oil price went down. So that's when you know that somebody's not telling the truth. Do your research. When they tell you fuel prices are going up because of the price of oil, and then you check the price of oil and it's going down, 1 and 1 make 2, don't they? Well, they should do. But they don't, do they? The other thing that makes it very interesting to me is the amount of commentators out there talking about Iran, talking about Israel, talking about Gaza, talking about Ukraine, who've never been there. It's amazing people's opinions who've never ever been there. And to get an honest appraisal of these places, you need to go there, because before I'd been to Israel, Palestine, before I'd been to Iran, Iraq, my view was very, very different, because it was based on what I'd researched online and listened to in the media. And it was nothing like it when I got there. Nothing. So be careful who you listen to. There's a lot of political commentators with, so say, good credentials who haven't got a clue what they're talking about. My final story is Ukraine doesn't exist anymore. Now, that might shock a lot of you, but somebody's forgotten to tell them. Because a country only exists when the leaders have control over it. And the leaders of Ukraine don't have control over it. Any bombing that's happening is not happening from Ukraine to Russia or what have you. It's happening from NATO. And NATO, and Ukraine isn't a part of NATO. So work that one out. So once NATO get taken out, there is no war. There is no Ukraine. It doesn't exist. Only in your imagination. And my heart goes out to the people who've completely lost their country without even knowing it, because they elected a leader who could play the piano with his Smart move, guys. That's what happens when you elect an idiot. Idiocracy sets in. I'll leave you with that thought. That was the news on Thursday, the 4th of June, 2026. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
So if you want to know the truth, come to charlieward.com and see real news daily. And join the Insiders Club, which is live on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Global tensions are rising, markets are unstable, and currencies keep losing value. While governments print more money, smart investors are moving into physical gold and silver, assets that have protected wealth for centuries. That's why more people are turning to Charlie's Gold to secure their future before the next financial shakeup hits. Don't leave your wealth exposed. Own something real. Own gold and silver. Visit charlies.gold today.